My son violated the most important school rule and saved 30 lives. The assistant principal called me at 10:47 a.m. on a Thursday in November. My son Ethan had been placed in emergency custody for violating Protocol 1 during a lockdown situation. She said emergency custody, like he'd brought a weapon to school, like he was dangerous. I was in the middle of a staff meeting at the hospital where I worked as a nurse administrator, but I told them I had to leave immediately. The drive from County General to Riverside Academy took 18 minutes through midday traffic, and I spent every second trying to figure out what Protocol 1 even meant. Ethan was 15, honor roll student, cross-country runner, the kid who still called me every day after school to tell me about his classes. He didn't break rules. He especially didn't break rules important enough to warrant emergency custody. Riverside Academy sat on 43 acres of former farmland, a sprawling modern campus built 5 years ago after the old high school was demolished. It was a source of community pride, this gleaming facility with its state-of-the-art security systems and advanced safety protocols. After the shooting at Henderson Falls High 3 hours north killed 11 students, our district had spared no expense making Riverside the safest school in the state. Every entrance had metal detectors and armed guards. Every classroom had reinforced doors and bulletproof windows. Every student wore an ID badge with a GPS tracker. And every quarter, they ran comprehensive lockdown drills that parents were told exceeded federal guidelines. The school's motto was literally, safety through vigilance. That's what made this call so confusing. The main office was chaos when I arrived. Parents were clustered in the waiting area, some crying, others shouting at staff members who looked overwhelmed and terrified. I recognized a few faces from parent-teacher conferences and school events. Carol Brennan's mom was there, mascara running down her face. The Okafor twins' dad was arguing loudly with the receptionist. Through the glass doors leading to the administrative wing, I could see police officers and what looked like EMTs moving quickly between rooms. My stomach dropped. This wasn't just about Ethan breaking a rule. Something had happened. Something big enough to warrant emergency responders and traumatized parents. I pushed my way to the front desk and told the receptionist I was Ethan's father. She looked at me with something like pity and said, Assistant Principal Deborah Vance would see me immediately. Mrs. Vance's office was small and cramped, made smaller by the presence of 2 police officers standing against the back wall. She was in her 50s, gray hair pulled back severely, the kind of administrator who ran schools like military installations. I'd met her once during freshman orientation where she'd spent 45 minutes explaining the disciplinary code and zero-tolerance policies. She gestured for me to sit without making eye contact. One of the officers, a younger guy with sergeant stripes, introduced himself as Sergeant Michael Riley. The other officer, an older woman with captain's bars, was Captain Nina Foster. They were with the county sheriff's department, not local police, which meant whatever happened was serious enough to escalate beyond school security. Mrs. Vance folded her hands on her desk and said, we needed to discuss Ethan's actions during today's emergency lockdown drill. I asked what happened. Mrs. Vance said that at 9:15 a.m., the school had initiated a Protocol 1 lockdown drill as part of their quarterly safety training. Protocol 1 was the highest level lockdown, simulating an active threat situation where students and staff must immediately move to designated safe rooms and remain there until authorities give an all clear. The safe rooms were specially reinforced interior spaces without windows, equipped with emergency supplies, and designed to be impenetrable from the outside. During Protocol 1, no one leaves the safe rooms for any reason, no exceptions. The protocol had been drilled into every student since the school opened. Parents had signed acknowledgement forms. Students had practiced dozens of times. Everyone knew the rule. Once you're in a safe room during Protocol 1, you stay there until you're extracted by authorized personnel. Ethan had violated that rule. Mrs. Vance pulled up security footage on her computer and turned the screen toward me. The timestamp showed 9:23 a.m., 8 minutes into the drill. The video showed a hallway on the second floor of C Wing, empty and quiet. Then a door burst open and students began pouring out. 32 students, according to Mrs. Vance, from room C207, which was designated Safe Room 7. They were running, not walking, some of them looking panicked. Leading them was Ethan, my 15-year-old son, who'd apparently convinced 31 other teenagers to abandon a safe room during what they'd been told was an active threat drill. The video showed them racing toward the emergency stairs at the end of the hall, pushing through the doors, disappearing from view. Mrs. Vance said they'd evacuated the building entirely, exiting through a ground floor emergency door and gathering in the parking lot. I asked why that was a problem if it was just a drill. Sergeant Riley stepped forward and said something I never expected. Full story is linked below or on my channel.